Okay, we back at it.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. I'm Treasure Wilson, aka Stat Baby, along with your hosts Mace and Cam.
Killer was good, man. Y'all try to lock me out the show today. Try to make me late. I was here early. Stat, I was here so early, Stat.
I believe you. I do believe you.
This is amazing.
Yo, Nick.
This is amazing. I was here since 9 o'clock. I come in, Nick tells me, oh, we can't get your sound. Cam like, yo, if you're not ready to record at this time.
I can't wait. This is what you did to me the other day. But you know what, Nick? I screen recorded it the other day. The other day. I'm going to send you a clip, Nick. I want you to put it right here. This is Mace walking in. Before the new rule, this clip right here is Mace walking in 20 minutes later going like this. With everybody there. If we could go to this clip, that would be great.
Having the benefit of the doubt, no matter who you connected to.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'm gonna let like the way I framed it. That's just where y'all can just say.
Yeah, I don't want to make it about that. That's what I'm basically saying. Yeah.
Yo, Nick. See, this shit just went out.
Oh.
You heard?
No clip, Nick. you show that clip in your clip, Nick. I'm telling you now.
That's crazy, man.
I don't have no more time for the bubble thumbs up or none of
that. That's crazy. That's wild, man. That's wild,
see, Stat, we grew up where you couldn't tell the truth. They won't let you tell the truth.
If you wait too
better
long,
keep the truth to yourself.
Yeah, if you wait too long, nigga, you lying.
Oh, Stat, you'll say something right then and there. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. We already know what we believe.
Facts.
I'm learning. But good to see y'all. Everybody's here, and it's daylight savings, which I'm not a fan of because it's really throwing me off. But
it's daylight savings?
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday was daylight savings.
Okay. These clocks automatically go up now, so you don't, Stat might not even be old enough to know when you had to officially turn your own clock back because the phones ain't do it for it. Wasn't no phone. You had to have an actual fix your watch or whatever. Yeah, I didn't even realize it, man.
Oh yeah,
well, happy daylight savings.
Right, I had to change it on my oven. It just threw me off because I sat and I watched it, and it makes you don't feel the difference. Like you don't feel like dang. No.
This is my season. I feel like I'm up. This is my season.
You feel like you're up. Well, that's good.
Yeah, this is the season.
You got to seize the day for sure. Okay, let's get into some basketball, starting with a couple days ago because Jayson Tatum made his return game versus the Mavs. Boston actually won that game 120-100, and he scored 15 points, 12 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Mace, who won the game? I couldn't hear you. Who?
The Celtics.
I can't hear you. Who won it?
The Celtics.
Oh, I heard you right.
Did you think the Mavs were going to win it? Let's get into that. What did you think of the game and how you played and logic?
Let Cam go first. Yeah, Cam, you go first.
I didn't pick the Celtics not to win. I don't know. That's why I'm confused by what you're talking about. I didn't even pick the Celtics.
Oh no, that was sin. That was sin we was talking about.
Oh, what I will say is this. I know because you're the credit hoarder. I will give you this for your credit fouls. that Jayson Tatum started the game. That's what I said, that I wasn't sure he would start the game. So I will say that, but I never said that the Boston Celtics wasn't going to win that game. I didn't say that. But Jayson Tatum did start the game. The first half, well, let's not say the first half. The first, 22 minutes, he looked terrible. He was 0 for 7. He went to the basket and caught a spasm. I don't know what they call it these days, but when he was by himself at the basket, and when the basketball hits the front of the rim, we used to call that a spasm when we was growing up. He caught one of those, and I was thinking like, damn, he doesn't have his lift, he doesn't have his jump. It didn't look good the very first half. I put the first half. But as the game went on, third quarter, he came out fire, looked really, really good. Credit, like I said, to Joe Mazzulla because uh, just using them and getting back, and getting them back into the groove of things, Even Mace said it, like saying he would start. I didn't think he'd start just because you want to get him back in the groove of things. But to Mace's credit and to Joe Mazzulla's credit, I think that was mentally best for him. Um, just watching him play because you could tell even after the game in his post-game interview, he was just very emotional about it, saying how he cried at night and he doubted himself and he didn't think this day would come, even though he wasn't even out more than 10 months. But I can imagine that process, just trying to be Jayson Tatum. So I think that was the correct thing to do. Joe Mazzulla and Mace, of course, credit, because you don't want to, just looking at his mental after the game, you didn't want to bring him off the bench and have him doubting himself because he was saying how he doubted himself. And it took a little while for him to get back in the groove of things. But once he did, it looked like, I would say, in about another, he played again yesterday, looked really good against Cleveland as well. The whole team, decent, looked really good. Boston looks like a problem. Yesterday, especially the way they smacked up on Cleveland, Friday was one thing, but yesterday against Cleveland, Boston looks like a very, very big problem. They manhandled Cleveland. So looking forward to seeing Jayson Tatum get back to full strength. It looks like it's probably going to take him about maybe 8 to 10 games to get back to the Tatum that we're used to seeing. But it did look like Jaylen Brown looked phenomenal. He looked like, okay, don't worry about it, little bro or big bro. I don't know who's older or younger, but nigga, get back in the groove of things. In the meantime, I got us. He looked like an alpha on the court, Jaylen Brown, that is. So it was good to see JT back out there. And the Celtics looked really good over this past weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good take because I thought about it when you're going through these type of things as a player, right? And you're used to playing so phenomenal and you've been gone for 10 months. 10 months may seem like a short time to us, but for a woman, that's the time they even make a baby and to have the baby and to go from single to a parent. So when you're in basketball years, I'm in basketball time, 10 months is a long time because it's a whole season for some people. And for Tatum, when you're people like that, like Killer, myself, people who have grown up since they was little, they just play basketball. That time away from it when you're in the peak of your career is like a long time. And when you're not known for many other things, and that is the thing that's not present, it could seem like a whole lot. So I don't know if Killer, you went through like any injuries, but I remember I tore my Achilles and I was out. I felt like, man, what am I gonna do? I don't do anything else. I don't you know what I'm saying? I don't play any other sport. This is what I know, and just thinking about getting out there. If I wasn't fast, how could I make the moves that I make? How could I, make the plays that I make? So now I'm thinking about somebody like Tatum when you see him like go to the rack and like Killer said, catching a spasm, it's like, am I the same guy? All of these questions, whether a person say it or not, they go through a person's mind. I'm glad he was able to articulate that because that's going to be part of what he has to do for the next couple of games. Like we'll see sparks of him being exactly who he used to be. Then we'll see, flashes of like, is he the same? But that's all a part of the process. And I'm happy that he's taking that journey, and I'm glad for Missoula for starting him because that helps with the psychological part of basketball. that he's looking into now, because if you bring him off the bench and he gets in the game killer and get that spasm, that will double down on that voice in his head that's telling him you may not be the same guy, and all he needs is a Lance Stevenson or one of them to blow in his ear, pause, and go. Your game is over, and who knows? Who knows how mentally strong he is? So that only work with people that can handle it. If they can't handle it, it'll be over for them.
Yeah. You both had really good takes, and I want to ask y'all this because obviously, like Cam quoted some of the things that he said post game, like doubting
Hmm.
himself in his career, and you're talking about the mental part of things. So, what are you guys' expectations from an athlete that returns from injury? Like, what do they have to do to be considered like a successful comeback? Because I know in his brain, he might be like, I need to do this and I need to do that. Like, from public perception, what do you think that entails for it to be considered a successful comeback?
I think in order for him to have a successful comeback, he has to take his time, right? There's too many athletes that get re-injured trying to go back to rare form from injury to rare form, right? You have to go through these steps of I remember Clay did this well. Who else did it well? Kobe did it phenomenally, right? So you got to have those reps that you're playing outside of basketball in your practice time, and then you have to slowly get into like, no, for this quarter I'm just gonna move the ball. For this quarter I'm gonna assert myself, and then on this quarter I'm gonna try to play some defense, and it becomes a process to where before you know it, this person is out there back at rare form. But you got to poise yourself and say, I'm just trying to get this part done in this game. I'm gonna be a facilitator in this first quarter. I'm gonna play defense in the second quarter. In the third quarter, I'm gonna go for it. And I'm shooting every shot I get. I'm shooting every time you pass me the ball, I'm shooting it. So to make sure you're just being the go-to person for one quarter, then it'll elevate to 2, 3, and 4. And then before you know it, you're back at red form.
Yeah, I don't think everybody comes back the same. I don't think,
Yeah.
to me, I think it's been games where Klay Thompson has showed signs of being good, but I don't think he was the
Mm-hmm.
same player. And it's not Achilles. He had an ACL, which is a different injury. But I think with
Mm-hmm.
ACL, just talking to people, what made Clay good, I'm not saying we all know him from shooting, but he was a top defender as well. And your lateral, when you tear your or mess up your ACL, that affects him on defense. Kobe, we know what kind of monster Kobe is, but the number one player to me, talking about coming back from injury, like I said, I don't know because I tore all the ligaments in my ankle and got kicked out of college and then was a rapper. So I never even really tried to go back after a major injury. So the number one player to me, though, just off the top of my head, sitting there thinking after you asked that question, Stat, the person I would talk to is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant
Mm.
come right back. Even he took a little longer, but you know what he had to come back to. And picked up right where he left off. I think he's now he just passed somebody on the scoring list that you can look it up when you talking, taking his tape. But he's like, whatever it is, 7, 8, 6, whatever number he passed, we have to think about this, right? Kevin Durant missed 2 seasons and still is a top 10 scorer right now, presently, all time, and kind of just picked up where he left off. I think that's why also somebody like Kyrie Irving, right? Let's think about Kyrie Irving. I don't think he's going to rush to come back because of all the herky-jerky poor shit that he does. You know, it's one thing running up and down the court. That's why I explained the Sin, to being that you brought Sin up, murder. Sin had
Yeah.
taught, when he was in Vegas, he tore his Achilles. And, Sin's walking around after 5, 6 months talking about, yeah, I don't be knowing what's wrong with these niggas. You know what I'm saying? These play. Sin, you're not cutting. You're not sprinting. You're not backpedaling. You're not jumping around. he,
Sid say
he
he
just
don't
been,
know
he,
about
he don't know.
Completely different.
Yeah, he don't know what's up with these niggas. Because he walking in 5 months. I said, yo, Sin, you don't know what entails of running up and down the floor for 48 minutes for 82 games. And back to Kyrie Irving, I'm like, a lot of his skill or talent, whatever you want to call it, is based upon his ball handling and finishing at the basket. That's why we love him so much.
Yeah.
And he has to make sure he's 100% better. The thing about Achilles, too, shout out to my nigga Sham, because this is another argument that we had with Sin, me, Sham, and Sin, is that Sham, Sham will tell you, and doctors told me this too. You're better off breaking a bone than tearing your Achilles because a bone will heal faster. Achilles, because you know what it was, murder? Sin is saying how, when we watch Paul George or Sean Livingston bone break, right? And it just looks gruesome. So it looks worse than when we watch somebody who tears their Achilles, right? It just looks like a pop. It doesn't look that bad. But when you break a bone like Paul George or Sean Livingston, it looks more gruesome. So he's like, that's worse than Achilles, which actually it isn't because the bone heals faster. Achilles, you have to do lifetime therapy if you're an athlete. There's no stop therapy for your Achilles once you tear your Achilles if you're going to continue to do athlete stretching, whatever other exercise, period, for it. So to me, the number one player from that injury that I would talk to or look at as a model is Kevin Durant out of anybody I could think. And maybe somebody else, somebody you can put in the comment section, everybody who's watching, but I would go with Kevin Durant off the top of my head.
And KD is 6th all time, so he passed Shaq, James Harden, Will, and Dirk.
Right.
So that's where he ranks, which is super
And he
dope.
missed 2 seasons, and he's number 6 all time.
Yeah. Okay.
And what number is James Harden?
James Harden is 9th.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so last week we were talking about where Boston ranks among the league, but now after seeing that return game, seeing how Jayson Tatum kind of came back into the flow of the rotation, let's just focus on the East. Is Boston the favorite to win the East, Mace?
I'll try to give the Knicks some credit, but after seeing this, I almost have to say it's a foregone conclusion. Boston is coming out of the East, man. We're not hating on the Knicks. We love the Knicks. We love Worldwide West. Shout out to Worldwide West. Shout out to the whole Brunson family, right? Shout out to Mikal Bridges. Shout out to everybody on the team. Even Avocado, right? Shout out to
Avocado.
Avocado. Yeah.
Avocado is crazy.
Shout out to Avocado. Niggas gonna eat that little nigga up. Pause.
Avocado.
Nah, shout out to Avocado. Yeah, but Boston is gonna be the team out the East, man. And make me regret my words, man. It's easy.
He's talking about his like what?
Go ahead, Killer.
Yeah, me. Here's another one. The Sin's getting a lot of light over this first 15 minutes. Me, Mason, Sin was arguing over the weekend. And this is, and I didn't think we would get here. I didn't think we would get here. The Sin was calling, not Sin, Mason was calling Alvarado avocado. And what was he mad about? Oh, this was what he was mad about, Nick and Stat. That me and Mace said JB Bickerstaff or Missoula should get coach of the year, and he called me going off, and I called Mace because I said I can't do it no more. That we're not mentioning Mike Brown for coach of the year, and yeah, and he was
Look at
mad.
that. No.
Yeah, yeah, but he's mad about it. He has an attitude about it because we're not even putting him in the conversation. Which Mike Brown inherited the same team that went to the East. That's a game away from the championship. I realize they're in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're one game away from a championship. Mace even brought up how they named streets after players in the semifinals.
I don't
Semi-Eastern
like
Conference
it.
final.
I don't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. You know what I'm saying? But he calls me going off, and we basically got into a whole Knicks situation. And Mace asks him, would you buy tickets to a Cisco concert tonight? and, and the nigga Sin response was, you trying to mess with my brain. he said, no, I wouldn't. He said, could. You don't subscribe to it. So I just like you don't subscribe to Cisco, I don't subscribe to the Knicks. And basically, that's what it boiled down to. And Sim basically said, you trying to mind fuck me, basically, to make a long story short.
Stat, because I kept telling him, I said Cisco was a good artist, but you're
Yes, he
not going
was.
because that's not what you want to support. So if that's not the artist you want to support, that's why you're not going, and that's why we're not going with the Knicks. It's nothing against the person. You just have a preference. You know you got a preference, right, Stat? You
Yes.
have people you prefer.
The comparison.
I a lot of my white friends tell me that. They say they're not racist. It's just people they prefer.
What?
That's crazy.
Same type of thing. That's crazy.
The people they prefer is crazy.
That specific example is
yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
aren't
We
telling you
going there. Yeah, we going there. You want to go? We going. It's just people you prefer. You got people you prefer. Killer got people he prefers. I know he does. There's people that you see their number and you don't answer it. Why don't you answer it, Stat? You don't prefer them. It doesn't make you racist, does
don't
it?
want to be around them, speak with them. There's a list.
Oh man, yeah.
It's definitely a list.
but coming out the East to answer your question, Stat. Sorry I had to get into that because I just found that amusing
Hmm.
over the weekend. Yeah, man. Listen, we picked the Knicks at the beginning of the season. And the way we thought the Knicks would look is kind of how OKC is looking in the West. Even though they're defending champions, they're looking good. And we see San Antonio right on their tail. Pause. But, we think about J Dub not playing the majority of the season. We think about the plethora of games that SGA has missed, pardon me, and they still look really, really good. I thought that's how the Knicks would run the East. But with the acquisition of James Harden to Cleveland and the way over this weekend, Boston look, I want to be subject to change my mind. you know, uh, right now, Boston looks like the team to be in the East. And what New York fans are going to say is this, right? Um, well, we beat them last year, Jordan, and this, that, and the third, and we dismantled their team. That's what they run with too. We the ones who got Porzingis out of here. Y'all was talking all this Drew Holiday shit, this, that, and the third, and they're kind of right. But let's not forget Jason Tatum did get hurt. Jalen Brown was playing hurt, which I'm not making excuses for anybody. You win, you win. It is what it is. But this is more of a reason why Boston may have a chip on their shoulder if they have to meet in the playoffs. If so, to me, what the Knicks should be more worried about than Boston is having to play Detroit. Now, if somebody knocks Detroit out before they have to play each other, cool. But it pretty much seems like Detroit has their number. Now, regular season is not the playoffs, but right now in 3 games, I believe it is the average of a margin of 25 points per game in victory over the Knicks. So right now, I think the inexperience of Detroit would put them right behind Boston. But right now, I don't have the Knicks going to the championship. Maybe the conference finals, depending on who they play.
Point. Well, since we brought up the Knicks, we might as well get into the Knicks game last night because they lost to the Lakers 110-97. So, Mace, what did you learn from this Lakers win? How are you feeling about the Knicks as a whole? Is there an answer for this? Or, they're cooling?
Yeah, this is what I be telling Sin, man. I hate to have Sin in the first 25 minutes of the show, but Sin, you ask for this attention, then we give it to you. And every time we give you the attention, you niggas, you shy away from the moment. The moment is too big. For some artists, for some celebrities, the light is too bright. I remember I went on the stage with this guy. He kept saying, "Man, you'll never let me do nothing, man. You'll never let me shine." I gave him the mic. We ran out on stage in front of 30,000, and that lights went pop. He was like, "Oh my goodness." He was trying to say the words, and no words was coming out of his mouth. I had to say, "You, yeah, use your words." He was like, "I'm speaking," but he had hyperventilated. The moment was too big for him. The lights was too bright for him. This is what it's looking like with the Knicks. Every time they start saying, "Oh, we ready," and then we put the spotlight on them, they shrink back, pause from the moment. This is the Los Angeles Lakers. This is New York versus LA. This is East Coast versus West Coast. You don't lose this game if you lose any other game. You got to win this game. This is against King James. Why would you do that against Wemby in San Antonio and then shrink against the Lakers? Where the Knicks fans at today? Where y'all at? Hit me on the chat right now. Hit us in the comments right now. Write all your gripes down the page. Mace, his shirt, his haircut. Do all the things you do normally right now, nigga. Where the Knicks fans at right now? Yo, you keep asking for this moment. I don't like it. This is why we don't go with the Knicks, because in a big market on a big day, they're gonna get invisible.
And Mace, listen, I know you was yesterday was Sunday, so you was working and you probably just seen the highlights. LeBron didn't even play, bro, and they
Oh
lost.
my goodness.
Shit, he didn't. Shit. They let Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic, two white boys, no disrespect, tear him up. He like, no disrespect, Nick. Yeah, but like, yo, they let him tear him up for 35 and 25, man. Come on, man.
How
This
you how you gonna
is
be gritty and from the hood and you let some white boys beat you in basketball? That's gonna be hard to explain.
yeah, man.
Especially in New York, you got your hair braided. Nigga, you got your 12 o'clock shadow. You gonna beat some white boys? Come on now.
Yeah, Austin Reeves went for 25, if I'm not mistaken, and I think Luca had went for 35. But, bro, this is exactly what we're talking about. And Mace made a great point, right? When he says the moment, I'm sharing just a couple things me and Mace shared over the weekend, right? And talked about over the weekend. And Mace was explaining to me, which I think he should do a segment one of these days when he gets time, how when he had an opportunity to get on as a rapper, it was right there. It was that, or if he didn't make that moment, I don't know where none of me or him would be right now. It was literally a make it or break it moment. It was no backtracking. It was everything and nothing. Like right now, right now in my life, I may be
Yeah.
sliding from underneath a car with a wrench, trying to fix the alternator. if if he didn't have that moment, and he had to shine that moment. And listen, when he was telling me this story, I knew the story, but I didn't know the details. And he was telling me the details on how he met Jermaine. He went to go meet Jermaine Dupri, but ended up meeting Puff. You know, it's a lot of details, which is another story for another time. But it was a make it or break it moment, and he took the opportunity. You know, and when he told me the story, I just thought about one day. You know, Mace was on, and he had an album out and nothing and everything else. And you know, he came and picked me up, and we riding around. And he's like, "Wait, I see we going to Jersey." I'm like, "Where we going?" He's like, "I'm taking you to Big House right now." And I'm like, "What?" right now. And Mace took me to Big House. I didn't know he was going because I was with Mace all the time. I didn't know which. He didn't tell me get ready. He didn't tell me it's tomorrow. He ain't tell me next Thursday. He said we're going right now to Big House. And I went to. He took me to Big House. I sat in the living room while I waited for him. I guess Big must have been in a car accident. Some shit. His leg was fucked up. And I went to his bedroom. Pause. He's in the bed with two girls. And he must have been making his album. He put on beats. And I rapped for 35 minutes straight. Every beat that came on.
Every beat.
Every beat that came on, it didn't matter what it was, I rapped to it. And that's the opportunity that he had, and that's the opportunity he gave me. And you have to take advantage of those opportunities, man. I didn't ask, y'all don't like that kind of beat, man. Yo, that beat too fast, man. Yo, give me one of them slower joints. I like the you know how niggas be like that, like yo, I don't like that beat. Yo, I don't give a fuck what beat
niggas,
came on.
niggas here be all braided talking about I don't rap like that.
I, I ain't give a fuck what beat came on. 35 minutes. It got to the point where he said, nah, you good. Let me call my man Un. You straight. I got more. Whatever we need to do, that's what we
Yeah.
do. And the Knicks don't do that. You have to do it when the opportunity presents itself, man. That's what
Yeah,
we
you
talking
gotta
about.
do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do it. And shout out, this is the day 29 years ago that Biggie lost his life. So shout out to the whole
Yeah.
Christopher Wallace
Yes,
Foundation.
yes. Thank you.
Rest in peace, Mama Wallace.
Yeah.
All of the children, Tiana, Christopher, C's, everybody, D Rock, Money L, C Gutter, Banger, the whole Junior Mafia, the Snakes, Trife, and
Yeah.
can't forget the original Queen Bee. I grew up with the original Queen Bee. No shade, but I grew up with the original Queen Bee. Put some respect on her name. I know
Yeah.
she different today, but put some respect on the Queen. Put respect on the Queen. We don't have anything without the Queen. We don't have no female rappers without the Queen. I don't care how nice you think you are. I got to put respect where it goes. This is March 9th. This is the day we only celebrate one Christopher, and that's Christopher Wallace, man.
Yeah.
Y'all gotta share more stories because I didn't even know that. That's not even like that's full on talent. Because to be able to do that,
Yeah, Killer was
Yeah.
going crazy,
because
and
Yeah.
I couldn't. Yeah, and I couldn't feel comfortable being with a New York nigga that ain't gonna go crazy like that.
Yeah.
Killer went crazy.
Yeah.
Killer went crazy. I was sitting there like, nigga, I told you, I'm an
Yeah.
expert.
no, that's
Yeah.
dope.
Getting all the credit. I was getting
Yeah.
the credit. I was getting
Yeah.
my credit there. I was like, yo,
Nah,
Big,
he
I
definitely
told you
said,
my man was crazy, bro.
nah, that's a fact. Because I won't say the other guy's name that used to be with us. They used to rap. And I remember Big said, yo, what's up with so and so? Because that nigga that Big said what's up, so he was nice too, one of our niggas.
Yeah,
And Mace was like, nah, he good, but my man better than him. And I was like, all right, let's
yeah,
go. It's showtime. And like I
yeah,
said, like, listen, this story I'm telling you now is nothing compared to the story Mace had to do to get on. It's just his story's a little longer and it needs to be heard out. But the way
yeah,
Mace had actually got his deal is nothing compared to what I just told. It was even crazier. Even crazier. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Dang, that's dope. We'll get it out of you one day. We'll get there. And then real quick, back to the Knicks, because I mean, like you said, two white boys really just had them messed up, which that is exactly what happened. Mikal Bridges actually scored no points. And I know you were talking about avocado. You want to call him avocado? Is that a nickname? But he also didn't score any
Yeah,
points.
yeah.
But I
niggas
understand why
troll.
Knicks are excited for him, though. But I'm just saying, no points. Gotta
And
work.
Yeah,
niggas trolling sin. And then
yeah, I was trolling sin. I said,
Okay.
man, against James Harden and all those bigger guards, they gonna eat that little nigga up. Pause. He'll be avocado by the middle of the playoffs, and we
yeah.
just started laughing. So
Yeah,
shout out to Alvarado. You know, in New York, they gonna give you a nickname you don't like
yeah,
until you prove otherwise.
yeah. This is true.
Okay, so another game from last night. Spurs beat the Rockets 145 to 120. That was a very good game. Mace, what do you think of this dominance from the Spurs? And then your other team's loss.
Well, it's a Texas thing, stat. Whether it's San Antonio, Houston, it's a Texas thing. It's I don't look at it the same. It's like losing to your little brother. It's like both of them are teams, actually.
Yo,
But
this nigga is crazy, my
I
man.
mean, I'm being realistic. If you go and see the Harlem World album, since
Could you start with the same
yeah,
story?
oh,
Ah, my nigga, man.
Cam,
This nigga, wow, man.
even if you look at my picture when I don't got time for this. I really don't.
Go ahead, Murder. I didn't
Was
mean to lie step, man. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean, because 4 million people, 5 million people saw me with that Spurs hat on, killer. I don't know why you
Oh,
acting like you didn't
that's
know
first.
about it. The Spurs, I had the Spurs hat on, stat. If you go back and look at my first album, I got the Spurs hat on. I got on all black with the Spurs hat. Killer is new to the Spurs. We gonna
Crazy,
let him
man.
join the team, man. He likes his Spurs because he saw me in the Spurs hat. He never had a Spurs hat. Tell him to go back and look at any day before that date that he had a Spurs hat on. I know him. See, I knew he was going to go put a Spurs hat on. That's why I said that date. That date is October
You got
27th,
one now? Do you got one now, Murder?
1996.
Murder, do you have a Spurs right now?
Go hat for hat.
My shit
I'm not in
snake
a.
skin and all that, man. That shit was
Yeah,
just
I hate
saying.
this nigga.
Shit got the leather strap and all that in the back, man. Come on, man. Go ahead, man.
it's that. It's that I can't win. Habitual line stepper.
My
Go
bad,
ahead.
my bad,
Step
my
over
bad.
my lines. Step
Uh,
over my
I
lines. That's what he
apologize.
gotta do.
I apologize, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And this game, I expect Wemby to do this come playoff time. This is going to be a real interesting series because this Houston team is the only team I think could really match up with them. Pause lengthwise, right? Because you got Katie, you got Sagoon, you got Amen, and all of this is happening at the same time on the pick and rolls and the switches. So they're actually the team that can run with them and actually play with them if they get some more endurance on that Houston team. I think this is the series to watch. I think in the playoffs, this is going to be a great series, a 7-game series. But it's looking like Wemby is going to be the difference maker in that series. And this is why when you have a time to win, young players, win when you can, because all of this thinking you're going to win next year, it'll be a new person that we never even thought of. I was just having this conversation, like even when it come to artists, right? There was a time we was watching different artists rap, and then if they would have told you, hey, the next superstar is gonna be from Disney, we would have never believed it. And the real somebody new came out and took over rap, and then forever changed it, and that was Drake. So the same way when you're playing ball, you may think you got next and you really don't have next. So when it's your time to do it, you got to win right then and there. Because thinking we was going to have this Houston team, and now Wemby is looking like he's coming into his own. And I know Killer says some few years from now, but it's looking like Wemby want to say something right now. And I'm here for it. Killer's on you.
Yeah, I actually did, but I was saying that even at the All-Star game, how he was seeing how
Hmm.
he wants it this year.
Yeah.
Wanting it and getting it is two different things, but I do agree with you, Mason. They Spurs look like they want it now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It looks like they
Yeah.
actually want it right now because they dominated this whole game and they actually won by 25 points. But it wasn't even like a close game. Even when it got a little bit close, it still wasn't close. We know Kevin Durant's going to do what Kevin Durant does, and Sagoon had a decent game, but of the balance of the Spurs is just incredible. When you think about Fox, Castle, we always talk about them, but the center, um, damn, I can't think. He played for Boston. He has championship experience. I don't think he won that year that they went there, but this is a team that has great balance. I'm talking about bench scoring, everything else, and it seems like they want it right now, as opposed to, like I said, maybe 2, 3 years from now. And the most impressive thing to me is their record against OKC, which I think, not even think, we know that they're leading the pack in the West. But they've been smacking OKC around this year. I think that this is my opinion. Now when it comes to Houston, they need a point guard. They need a point guard. And we see Van Fleet out. And I was watching the first half a little bit, but majority of the second half, Kevin Durant's bringing the ball up. And when Kevin Durant is stepping over half court, they're double teaming him. And when they're double teaming him, they're basically saying, okay, you're not going to beat us. Let somebody else do it. Not saying Amen and Sagoon and everybody else isn't good, but that's a recipe for disaster. Kevin Durant, to me, not saying he can't bring the ball up, good ball handle, everything else. But let's get that floor general on the floor. Let Kevin Durant get in his spots and get to the basket. And I think that with Van Fleet being out, Kevin Durant's one of them niggas like, yo, move, nigga. Y'all niggas know I got the most experience over here more than everybody else. And I don't think that's a recipe for them to win, even though he looks spectacular throughout the game. I just think that they need a point guard if they're going to make that jump or try and get a championship this year. I don't know how far out Fred Van Fleet is or if he's even coming back this year, but I don't think Amen is the point guard they need to get them over the hump. And it's even to the point where that's what I'm saying. When you're looking at who's the point guard, forward, small forward, etc., it has Amen there. But to me, it's Kevin Durant running point forward, at least for the second half of that game that I watched. Not saying he can't do it, but I just think that they need a legit point guard to make that next step.
Not a bad take. Okay, now I want to backtrack to the Spurs game versus the Clippers before we go to break. So Wemby was seen pretty emotional after a 25-point comeback win when the Spurs actually won that game 116 to 112. So in the post-game interview, he said he had zero left right now and went on to say that was one of the best wins. That was one of the best games, best parts of my career, my basketball life. So even just from this game and even that Rockets game, we're seeing these regular season games with a lot of high energy. Mace, what do you think of these emotions and this energy that Wemby has kind of brought to the league as of not even just lately, really since he was drafted?
I really like it, and I really like it for this reason because that energy is contagious. It's contagious to the fans. It's contagious to. It looked like Aaron Fox. How you say his name?
De'Aaron
De'Aaron,
Fox.
yeah, De'Aaron Fox. And when he's playing, it seems like he's the perfect player to be playing with Wemby in the pick and roll. So this energy is great for that. But one area is concerning to me. I don't want him to give so much of his energy that when it comes time to playoffs that he like tail off. This is the time to start building that energy, but I need this energy to consistently stay through the playoffs. And sometime I remember it was a high school coach. He tried to tell us the same thing. Like, yeah, you're excited, Mace, but I need you to stay this way. And it kind of messed me up because I was used to playing fiery all the time. But he wanted me to be more reserved for the playoffs. And it didn't work. So I'm not sure if that will be the case with Wemby. But I look forward to him being that way all the way through. Because if he keeps this energy, I don't see anybody being able to beat them when you're really that tall and you really desire to play. He's hitting the threes. He's getting excited about hitting threes. It looked like he don't have to lead the floor to dunk. So it's just this is a phenomenal phenom waiting to happen.
Yeah, when I seen him emotional, I was a little confused because it was like a regular season game and everything else. But it showed me the passion. that how serious he takes. Let's think about this game. If you watch this game, everybody out there watching, the Spurs were down 20 points with like 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And the comeback that they amount of, I'm a Spurs fan, and I was saying to myself, the Clippers better not fucking lose this game. Like, it was like, yo, come on, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Because, at the end of the day, I'm still like, I fuck with Ty Lue and I like Jeffrey and Gundy. They over there coaching their motherfucking heart out. And I'm like, they better not lose this fucking game. And they
Yeah.
fucking lost the game. They were up 20
Yeah.
points with about 2 minutes left in the third, and they let the Spurs come back. And I was thinking about homie you on Boston. I remember that Cornette, the center, white boy center for the Spurs. Him and Johnson off the bench is incredible for the Spurs. It just gives them another dimension to where they show depth. And that's why I said they may be all right when this playoff thing comes around. Um, but that game, I'm just sitting there thinking about their depth because earlier I couldn't think of Cornette's name. But the emotion when we had was just like May said, it can be contagious because if you see your star athlete putting in this work, it makes you
Yeah.
want to put the work in. And I was a little confused, like I just said, but Mace made a good point. It can be contagious. If he's taking a regular season game this serious, then that matters. And it isn't like they're fighting for their playoff life. They're in second place right now as we speak. But it was more of a disappointment for me for the Clippers. Like, God damn, man, Kawhi had a great game. They looked decent, but they let them come back from a 20-point deficit with 2 minutes left in the third. So kudos to the Spurs, man. And it's going to be a dog race with them, Houston, and OKC to the end to see who finishes first, second, and third.
For sure. And Cornette's also the one that did the blog post about trying to take away the Magic City Nights. So everybody got
That was
energy.
that nigga.
Yes.
Ain't that nigga play for us, man? Man, you
Energy is
know, you know what's crazy? Yo, Cornette. I'm sorry I dogged you the other day. Pause. Just keep doing what you're doing, though. Just play basketball, man. Just do that. You good
Yeah.
at that. Yeah, stay doing that, nigga.
okay, y'all. We're gonna go to break. When we return, we will discuss staying in college another year versus declaring for the draft in today's era. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. So AJ Dybantsa, the potential number one pick in the NBA draft, says he might stay in college another year. He said his mom wants him to graduate with a college degree first. May's pretty open-ended. What would your advice be? What are your thoughts? What are you thinking after hearing this from AJ?
um, that's pretty interesting. He's making a whole lot of money, so I don't see why he would be rushing to leave anyway. But I think it got more to do with if Utah is getting the first pick. I think he's staying in college until Utah get the first pick. It's almost written he wants to be in Utah. So nothing against him getting his degree, but I don't think where he's going to need a degree. At least not to earn one. Sometimes you could do things so well in life that people give you an honorary degree. As long as you get one, that's all that really matters. So, but I'm all for honoring your parents and honoring your mom and all of that. But I think this has more to do with the state of Utah. And then when Utah get the first pick, he's coming out. And hopefully he'll still be the first pick at that time.
Mace, do you have an honorary degree because you did so many great things outside of school?
How did I know Killer? Yeah.
Is that how you got your degree?
Yeah, Killer. I was actually, let me say this. I was actually gonna get a degree anyway, Killer. It's not like they gave it to me and I wasn't doing well in class or
What?
or
I don't know.
turning in great papers.
Can I ask a question? What were you going to get the degree in?
Stat. See, this is what I'm
These are
talking
valid
about.
questions.
It is.
I was actually going to get a degree in mathematics. Then at one time, I was going to school for psychology. So
Okay.
I I had two different things I ended up doing, but I ended up getting a degree in family therapy and things like that. Let me make sure. I haven't looked at my degree in a long time. I got two separate ones that were honorary doctorate degrees. So I got to look at my shelf because I want to get this right because I don't want to say the wrong thing because I know on the other side of me I have a gentleman that's going to hold me to what I said. So I know one of them is a Master of Divinity. I do have a doctorate in Master of Divinity, but I'm not sure what the other one says. So
Okay.
I'll get that and I'll let you
First,
know.
I'm not jacking it because he says things like that. I got a degree in family therapy and things like that. Now, divinity sounded decisive. That sounded like you know what you're talking about when you said divinity. What is that? What is divinity? What is the master? I don't know. I'm asking dead ass like on the series. What is that master's doing? Because that one sounded realistic. I believe divinity. What is divinity?
Killer is too long to go through right now.
No.
It's
What is
church
I don't
related. It's
I
church
knew it. I
related.
knew you knew that. I believe that
Yes.
one. I knew it. Yeah. You got that one. You got that's a fact. You got that one. I just wanted to make sure the other ones, I ain't jacking the other one. I believe the divinity. I knew the divinity was decisive. That's a fact. Family and things like that. I ain't jacking. You got I'm with divinity. I'm co-signing that.
Stat, Stat, you set this up. I'm surprised. I'm
Question.
surprised Nick ain't throw the bubble up for this. Nick, throw the bubble up. Nick, go ahead right now. Go ahead. throw the bubble
Nigga,
up.
nah, we already talking about no more bubbles. It's a setup.
How do you do that, Nick? I was wondering how do you do that? For real?
Yes.
Oh.
But sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. That's the gag.
Oh, I thought you was doing it. I was like, Nick, throw the bubble up. But Cam, so when Cam does it, it just do it?
I never did. I didn't. I just found out when you did it. When you found out, I'm
Oh,
sitting there
that's
act like I knew.
crazy.
I didn't know neither. I thought Nick was pushing the button.
No.
You know, I didn't know. I don't even know if I got the phone for that. I don't know. Shit ain't working for me.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, to agree with Mace, I think it's a Utah thing. Look, right now, that's the thing about the NBA draft as opposed to the NFL draft. The NFL draft, the worst team is getting the first pick, second worst, second pick, so on and so forth. The NBA team, NBA lottery, doesn't mean the worst team is getting the first pick because of the lottery. We sat there and looked at how, Luca got traded. Then everybody's like, how the hell did Dallas give him the first pick? It's a setup, yada, 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 yada. So I do agree with Mace when it's something, when it's Utah. Now, look, Utah is the second worst team in the Western Conference as currently constructed. I think, and I was looking at this over the weekend, and they was just saying that financially, it makes sense for him to go to the NBA. Jay Billis, he's a great college analyst. Shout out to Jay Billis, and he was saying, look, you can get your degree at any time. You're going to play basketball, so it doesn't mean you still can't go get your degree. But the financial logistics of the NBA, he was saying, doesn't make sense. But I think that he makes quite enough money to stay in college, and I think that they're using this as a ploy because I don't know the dates. That's something we would have to look into, right? So let's say, for instance, right, you saying you going back to school and then the lottery balls come out, pause, and Utah is the number one pick. You be like, matter of fact, I'm not going back to school. I think after the lottery balls come out, pause, he'll let you know if he's going back to school or not. If Utah has the first pick or the second pick, I think he'll be coming out. If they don't have the first or second pick, he's gonna be like, I'm going back to school. So I agree with Mace. I don't think he wants to leave the state of Utah. And I don't think that a degree is gonna matter his first 5, 6 years in the NBA because he can still go back to get a degree. We've seen several other NBA players do that.
Yeah. Not even just NBA, any career. College will be there. I'm always like I'm an advocate for college. Y'all know that, but like it will be there if you want to go get something later down on in life. So I don't think you have to change
Are
everything.
you Stat? Do you think you have to have a degree in life, or I know you're an advocate of it, but do you
Yeah.
think it's kind of mandatory?
No.
Right.
Because realistically speaking, like college, the funds, the time, those are two valuable things that not everybody can just give up at any moment, especially if you didn't get a scholarship or anything like that. So I'm never going to be like, you need to go to because that's just unrealistic. But I'm an advocate because you learn a lot of things that you would never learn before, and you're put in spaces and different experiences. So
Would
that's
you
the
have
part.
left? Would you have left college for the right amount of money if you had the right job?
Would I have let it depend? Like, I'm saying no because most of the careers I had thought of needed a college degree. But if it
Yeah.
was something creative that didn't
If
require,
if they offered you $2 million a year for 4 years in your sophomore year, would you have left?
but that's the thing is who's they? Because then I'm like, why are you offering me 2 million? You know I didn't finish school yet.
You're a good person asking them questions. Long as I
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
long as I ain't
Stat.
integrating my morals or what
No,
I
but
believe in.
precisely. I'm like, that's cute for
Stat,
you.
you wouldn't leave for the 8 million, Stat? You're
Now
not leaving for the
people are
eight?
people are crazy. So
Yo,
just
murder.
offering me eight
Oh yeah,
million,
yeah,
why are
Stat.
you
Yo,
offering
murder.
me 8 million?
How much they offered you while you ain't go back to school for your first deal?
50,000.
You
Niggas is
heard?
out of here. We gotta go tonight. No,
Ditto.
Stat. This is real talk, Stat. I'm thinking about what you're saying.
Yeah.
You not leaving for 8 million is wild. Now I am gonna agree with you, Stat, that I believe you do need a degree, right? Because I'm thinking like the people I be seeing coaching, right? I see basketball players all the time that will be great coaches, but because they didn't have that degree, they be like players' assistants. They be sitting on the side, and they could have had real college, real coaching of college programs, but they didn't have the degree. They needed either that honorary or something to be able to link that deal and to be a head coach. There will be way more coaches right now if players had those degrees. They spend their time sitting on the bench and being a player's assistant and a coach assistant because they don't have that degree. They'll still be being students after they already played for that university. So you're right. In some areas of employment, you need that degree.
Yeah. But I also disagree to a certain extent because I think for the right person, people will make some things shake. They'll just make it happen.
Nah, you can't coach without that degree.
Well, one thing, let's say this
Go ahead.
real quick to jump in, and not just coaching. I don't know about coaching because I don't know the rule. Mason knows that better than me. But I will say this, and Stack, Google it while I'm talking about the Rich Paul rule. Shout out to my nigga Rich Paul. Because you
Yeah,
couldn't be an agent without a degree at one particular time. Now, I'm not saying LeBron James being your friend doesn't help. It absolutely helps, but it lets you show that your business savvy and your negotiating skills and so on and so forth, that you may be better than somebody with a degree. And they tried to employ that with Rich and say, oh, you can't be an agent. You don't have a degree. You don't have a degree, which turned into the Rich Paul rule because he went and fought it and said, just because I don't have a degree, that doesn't mean I can't negotiate better than you. To Mason's point, but Mason's saying that it's somebody who don't have a degree that can probably outcoach somebody with a degree. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason we used to bring up stuff on the show, and I used to whenever the time calls for it, when we saying if you're good enough, they'll figure it out. When we talk about
yeah,
players, right? When we be like, if they'll figure, if you're good enough, they'll figure it out, because that was part of the rules. You got to pass your SAT. You have to have this GPA. You have to meet these requirements. They'll figure it out. Those used to be rules, but to Mason's point, I don't know. He knows the rule on coaching, but it used to be like that with agents as well until Rich Paul fought the system, and they named it the Rich Paul rule.
Yeah, so basically the Paul rule, it was quickly taken back because after, instead of a specific degree, it allowed agents certified by the the MBPA to bypass the requirement. And then Mace, I searched what you said. It says you technically don't need a degree to be a coach. You probably might need a certification, which I would assume so. But that's why I'm like, in a lot of things nowadays, you can bypass specifically having a degree, but it is better, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Sorry, Stat. Go ahead, Finn. I want you to finish what you said.
I was going to say, even just aside from sports, there's obviously we've seen a lot of very successful people without a degree, even down to Bill Gates. Like, you started college, you dropped out of college because at that moment it didn't make sense for you to finish your career. So I don't know.
And the thing, I want to use the word bypass, Stat, what you said, right? So to get into Canada, you can't have a felony. They don't let felons up there, so on and so forth.
Mm.
But I got a felony, which I'm going to have it removed soon because it's been longer than 10 years. It's almost 20 years. But anyway, they let me bypass it because I bought into, I paid for a program that I went to, or supposed to went to, and paid for a work permit so that I could go up there. But there's plenty of times I went up there, my first DJ was with me, and they ain't let him in because he's a felon or whatever. But if you bypass and pay for it, so on and so forth, they'll let you. More stories, it's always a loophole somewhere.
For sure. It's like that in everything, even with hair. And I don't know, I'm talking about hair, but you're supposed to be licensed. People don't be getting licensed or certifications no more. But the people who are licensed and are certified can charge more because they actually went through the process to take the correct schooling for it. But that doesn't mean somebody won't pay somebody the same price just because they don't have a certification. So I don't know.
I used to sell hair, Stat.
Bundles? That's a good business.
Yeah, I used to sell bundles.
That's a really good business. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I wish you still were because
Hey, Stat. How much is a pack of hair?
I don't pay for packs. I pay for bundles, and bundles are
How much is a bundle?
Depends how long you get. That
inches matter too. Inches matter.
Like, you could pay up to 180, 200 a bundle. They're less.
Then you got to pay for installment too.
Then you got to pay for installment. Then you got to pay for multiple. So I like 4 bundles. So then you got to pay for the hair dye. It's just a lot. Okay, it's a lot. It's a lot.
That shit can run murder. That shit can run you after you buy your bundles in the store, depending on who's installing it, because you got these people talking about they the best, and you take the hit. That shit can run you up from anywhere for a good $700 to $1,500.
Yes.
That's better than selling drugs.
Yeah.
Not because think about it. If you get 10, there's somebody in Tampa, because my mom always used to get mad at me because I would go to certain areas to get hair because I'm like, he got a good deal, it's good quality, these other people are upcharging, and my mom was like, I don't want to be taking you down here to go get some hair. I'm like, Mom, I don't care. Like, this is the good stuff. Like, this is the good stuff for a good price. Sorry, you don't have to take me down here.
That's a good
thing.
That's a good skit. People think you talking about drugs and you talking about hair. Talking about, Mom, you gotta take me down there. They got the good stuff. Like, he got the pack. I need
Murder,
4 bundles.
That shit's a big deal. Getting Vietnamese or Cambodian, it's a big business, man. And then they tell you, if you don't get it from over there and you try to go somewhere and buy it, you don't know if you really getting it till you get there. So yeah, it's a big business.
It's a lot. Okay, so last question before we wrap, just staying kind of on this topic because I know everybody's like, well, maybe you don't need your degree, just declare for the draft. It's the draft. Mace, have you ever gotten advice that you're actually happy you didn't take?
All the time. All the time. All the time. Um, I would say one of them was to stay working at the AMC theater. Somebody told me that you could move up to manager, right? They told me with all this talent to stay working at the AMC, and you want to be faithful there, because by next year you on popcorn now. Next year you could be the manager. I'm so happy I didn't listen to that. I'm also happy I got fired from the Gap on my first day at the Gap. You knew that stat?
What is
I got fired
what
at
is
the Gap. The Gap. You don't know what the Gap is?
like
Oh shit.
Gap, like the clothing store?
Yeah.
Oh, I was about to say stat.
I
You
Yeah, I'm
know
about to.
what?
I'm
Yeah.
just making. I was like, what is the y'all
Nah.
was talking about things
I was about to
and
lose it,
Yeah.
stat.
Me too,
You're
yo.
culturally inappropriate.
no,
Stat,
I'm just clarifying.
stat,
When you said the,
Stat did not know what the Gap was.
I've
Come
never
on,
heard
that's
any
crazy,
gap,
Stat.
like just gap, like just gotta ask.
Yeah, so the boss at the time, she told me don't leave the store, right? But I had to leave. My bus was leaving, and if you missed that bus in Westchester County going back to SUNY Purchase, you would be walking, killer, like 10 miles in the pitch black dark with no lights, right? I just wasn't going to do it. So I left the store open. I had to go. I had to It was the biggest fire I had. Because I got fired, I had to rap. I didn't have no other choice. I had to rap. And that quick. I came back to the hood. I was on. So I'm so glad I didn't listen to that lady. She said to wait till she come back from getting coffee. It was in the nighttime. Why am I waiting for coffee? It made no sense. I couldn't take the advice. I know she's probably looking at this thinking, I fired Mace. That's her claim to fame, killer. She fired
Yeah.
me. I had to
Yeah.
let that nigga go. Every year get crazy. I had to let that nigga go. I said,
Yeah.
yeah, you did. You fired me.
You know, people like that murders want you to tell them thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I say thank you to the Gap and the
Yeah.
AMC. They fired me up.
Yeah. For me, to be honest with you, I'm a couple things, but that I would sit there like you should ask me this. Remind me next Monday or later this week because I will have to write a list of the advice. Like the list is just ridiculous. I remember we was in high school, right? And I was living with my grandparents, and Mace was living with his mom and his stepdad, and we used to come to school and write down or have the shit written down the most outrageous shit that we heard in the house. And we used to compare them in class. Like, nah, murder. The nigga told me last night that I put the toilet paper on the roll backwards. I said, I put the toilet paper on the roll backwards. Nigga said, Mace would say, nah, they told me to turn the AC off. I'm going to break it. Nah, murder. He told me stop recording on the VCR. You gonna break my VCR. Yo, stop hooking that Nintendo up to my TV before you break my TV. Like, I know that's not advice. I'm just telling you
Yeah,
that's why
but
you would
you
have to
burn the
write
TV out. But you burn the TV
it.
out.
That's why I said I would have to write
Close,
a list.
yeah.
I would have to write a
Close the
list of
door. Close the door. You gonna raise my electricity? What
yo.
closing the door
Oh,
got to do
oh
with the
man.
electricity?
Yo, yo, man.
Yeah.
Yo, the shit I can't, we used to write that shit on the back of our notebook with the list is so long of all the dumb
Oh
shit they
man.
used to say. And I know that's not advice. That's why I said I would have to write a list of the advice of shit that I heard
Yeah.
because first, that's why I said I would have to write a list because it starts in my house. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? It starts in the yo, all that shooby doo boop boop shit you trying to do.
Yeah.
You need to go
Yeah.
back to school, Cameron.
You need
Cameron,
you need to go to
you
school.
need to go back to school, man. It
Yeah.
starts at home. It start, the bad advice
Yeah.
started in the house.
Yeah.
Yo,
You gonna
listen.
let Cameron lead you down a dark path with that shoobity boop boop boop. A dog path is crazy.
Oh shit. Yo, the bad advice started in the house. You know how many people make it trying to do what you trying to do?
All of
You know,
that. Yeah.
all of that starts in the house. Then
Yeah.
then you go outside from your house and then just niggas ideas in the street like, yo, listen, let me tell you something. If we go out of town with this work, right? It don't really
Yeah.
be that many state troopers in between Virginia and South Carolina. All we got to do is the speed limit. Just like the bad advice, I will have to
Yeah.
make a list of the bad advice that was given to me that I didn't do. You know,
Yeah. When
that
you
should.
go when you go on your AAU trip, put this dope in your coat. You're only 13. They can't give you much time. They can't give you much time. You're only 13. This is why we don't
Yo,
have OGs. That
yeah, this
this
a
is
fact.
why right here.
Oh shit, this is a
I'm going to
fact.
AU. Why would I put dope in my coat? Going to AU.
And if you don't do it, you're a sucker.
Yeah.
You're a sucker ass nigga, man. I will have to make a list that of
Yeah,
the
this is
advice,
crazy.
because I'm just talking about just now talking. You got to think about what I'm telling you. Like we didn't make it out the building before this bad advice. We ain't even walked down one block yet before you get all this type of bad advice. Same thing Mace talked about on the previous show a few months ago, how niggas used to tell us we shouldn't rap, and then they tell Mace, I hope you ain't telling Cam to do that dumb shit. You see how that worked out for this nigga. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah, shout
Yeah,
out to Bad, right?
yeah, my
Bad.
nigga bad boy, man. That's a fact. And RP Tatos. I'm just telling
Yeah.
you the advice.
Bad said
I'm gonna
doggy.
do that.
I hope
Yeah.
you're not I
Yeah.
hope you're not taking that rap serious.
Yo, stat. Yo, think about this stat, right? We lived on a block where it was mad drug dealers and they was getting money and they wouldn't give us they wouldn't let us sell drugs for them because they were like, nah, y'all niggas ball players, man. Y'all gonna make it one day and all that. So they wouldn't let us hustle with them. Then when we asked for money, they would give us $10 or some shit, $20, and be like, this how far is this gonna take us? And then when we started rapping and asked niggas to go, like, yo, let us get some money to go to the studio, niggas like, come on, y'all niggas bugging.
They said, y'all
Like,
niggas rapping now?
yeah.
I thought y'all was playing ball. Yeah,
So
don't let Mace lead you down that dark path with all that rap.
that's what I'm saying. so so when Mace be like, yo, Mace ain't like when we had a take before, it don't need to get too deep into a pause, but when Mace was like, we ain't got no big homie. Cause this how they treated us. It's like, nah, fuck you mean money for the studio, man. Hustle, nah, y'all niggas ball players. Wait a minute, y'all rappers now? Nah, niggas, most niggas gave us is maybe $22, man,
Wow.
at a time, man. So it
Phenomenal.
is what it is. I'm gonna write the list down for you, though, Stat.
Yes, write a list because we'll circle back. Mace, I'm sure you got more. Even if it's, I know we're
Yeah.
talking about overall, but I'm sure even everyday little things that you were always told, and you're like, I'm so happy
Hmm.
I didn't listen to that. And in the comments, let us know advice that you guys
Yeah.
got that y'all are happy that you didn't take because this is going to be a continued discussion. I'm sure there's a lot of comments there. But y'all, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank y'all for watching. And as always, it is what it is.